Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I have been obsessed with the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, just like everyone else, and I've found some tips that I think have really helped me along the way. I wanted to share these 5 early game tips that I think you should do first while playing Shadow of the Erdtree. My first tip is the Scadutree Fragments. Has it been way too long and we're all just bad at this game? Did we all just overlevel our way to becoming Elden Lords? I initially struggled playing this expansion even with my OP cheat code Blasphemous Blade build that I got a lot of shit for. I was initially wondering if I fucked up even starting a new game plus. Maybe the people were just way too overpowered for me. I just found out that I think this stuff really doesn't matter. Initially, the game tells you to get these fragments, and I think you should do yourself a favor and you should explore and just find those Scadutree fragments if you're struggling in the game. You can find them all over the map without having to fight a boss initially, getting you to a high enough level to where you're getting some resistance and more damage. Once you get these, you activate them at the sites of grace points, and you're basically going to be, again, increasing that resistance and whatever damage you are doing. This is basically how they decided to balance out the expansion. And I don't blame them because some people are playing like New Game Plus 7 and things like that at level 200 plus. As a bonus tip, Fextra Life is a godsend here. They've got digital maps for you to use, and if you're looking for those fragments, it's just real easy to go ahead and find them. Speaking of Fextra Life, my second tip is to take the game as it is and explore, but don't fear using a guide. Check every area, break every box, check all caves. Kill every enemy at least once so that you can get whatever armor and weapons that they might be holding. Bonus tip, those sparkled pot guys, they even give out sometimes those Scadutree fragments or the spirit ashes. Spirit ashes are basically the equivalent of the Scadutree fragments, but for your summons, like the Mimic. Do not miss those guys with the sparkly pots, seriously. What I do is at the end of an area, as I'm about to move on to the next, when in my head I think I've explored everywhere and I think I found everything, I always like to pull out the Fextra Life walkthrough to see if I missed anything. I'm going to be linking their channel and the site in the description. This actually helps me enjoy, explore, and really just not miss anything in these games. Like, sometimes there's quest lines that you can miss or different items that you just definitely just glossed over and had no idea were there. My third tip is respecking with those larval tears. If you're like me, odds are you did start this new game plus, and then you realized that you needed to rush to Mog
I'm in danger!
to even start the DLC. I was level 160 and I was getting bored of the whole Blasphemous Blade bonk that I was doing. It was just getting way too easy. There are a ton of new weapons in the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion that are really cool and interesting. Some of those weapons you're actually finding almost right away. What I would do is rest until night and just look for these glowing circles around those graves. You're going to be finding larval tears there that only show up at night for some reason. I'd show you guys me picking them up, but my initial OBS footage got all screwed up. But I'm going to take you guys to see what it looks like right here. If you choose to respec, my advice, minimum 50 health, because the bosses honestly just hit like a truck. They're going to be two-shotting you. My fourth tip is don't be afraid to use the spirit ashes and the summons. This DLC is supposed to be hard. This is a feature that's also in the game to be used. You can challenge yourself all you want, but I've always thought that it was like a weird Gamergate thing for people that play these Souls games. The bosses attack like crazy. They barely leave openings for you to get them. And I think on top of that, 2 hits sometimes is all it takes to die. If you could take them on solo, honestly, more power to you, but if you're struggling, join the dark side and let the Mimic carry you. It's worth it, I swear. My fifth tip is just a little basic, but I think it's something I do want to reiterate since Elden Ring came out just, it feels like yesterday, but just so long ago. If you're stuck, leave. Find fragments. Try a new build or a weapon. Level up. Get more health and stamina. Mess with your talismans for buffs and even the damage negation. For me, honestly, I'll take a break, go eat something, come back, and I can get the boss on the first try. I don't know what it is. This has been a thing for me in almost all Souls games. I'll just get really, really tilted, and I'll be making really dumb mistakes. And sometimes it's just a lot easier to give it a break and come back to the game later. So that wraps it up for my 5 tips in the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I don't consider myself a pro at these types of games, even though I've beat all of them. This is just what's worked for me and has helped me get through the DLC so far. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments. I am working on a full review as soon as I beat the expansion, and I'll see you guys all on the next video. Thanks.